Hi, this is Linda, and I'm back with another process video in my daughter's album documenting 2020 using the Cocoa Daisy kits. For this one, I'm using the February kit of Wonderland. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so I'm continuing on with my project of documenting 2020 in my daughter's album. There's a glue in here. In my daughter's album of 12 by 12 pocket pages. So what I'm doing, if you missed my first video on this, is every month for the year of 2020, I'm going back in her high school albums and documenting a recap of the month for her using the Cocoa Daisy kits. So this is what I did last month for January. So on the back, I'm going to have February, and I have more traditional layouts in her album. So these are just going to kind of be throughout the album with the traditional ones in between, and to kind of be a recap of things that were going on. So for February, I have these two 4x6 photos. And then I was kind of looking at the kit a little bit when I was starting to print my photos, and I knew I wanted to use this one, and I'm thinking I want to cut this out to make a title on there. So I have this one of her with her friends, and then there's this one of her and a friend, and these two are with me. We took a trip to Syracuse to see a basketball game. We were building our house at this time, so here's her in the living room. We had just gotten the hardwood floors, I think, at this point. And they started to do the fireplace and the drywall, but you can see a lot of it's not done yet. And then here's her doing a puzzle. I think she had February break. So I need a journaling card to talk about our Syracuse trip. And this is balls. So I think I need something to do some just other journaling. And then I still have this 4x6 spot. So let me see, I think there's some more. I am such a messy scrapbooker. When I'm working with a kit, everything gets everywhere. So there's these card ones. I don't think I want to use those. And I'd put these to the side because they are 2024. And I could use the other side, but I really like this. So I think I'm going to put those in my 2024 Project Life album. And then there's this one, which again is 2024. I could use the back, but I think I like that for Project Life this year. Looking at these cards, 4 different ideas. And then let's see, I have stickers. All these are the stickers. And just put those here. Here's these prompt cards, which I could use these two for a idea for a jumping off point for her. This is good for just journaling. So I like that. I thought there was another 4x6 card around here. Oh, here it is. This one, I really love this card, but then it's going to just be a filler if I use that one, which I think is okay. I do also have this. I need something to go behind there. And I could just use this to get some color behind it. Let's see, what else do I have? I have a few other cards over here. Oh yes. I knew there was a lot more in this kit. There's this one. Me seem a little mad, but the best people usually are. I like that sentiment. I'm not crazy. My reality is just different than yours. Also very cute. This one, again, is 2024, so I can't use that. Down the rabbit hole. I like that. That's more of a me sentiment. And the cards, I don't think that goes very well. So I really just love this one as is. I'm trying to decide if I want to put something on top of it or if I want to just leave it. And then maybe I'm going to put some stuff on here. I think the first thing I'm going to do is create this title because I know I want to do that. And I do want this one on here. Ooh, there's also this color. but I don't like it next to that. I like the lighter one. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and put you guys on fast forward, start with my title up here, and then work through the rest of the spread. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is cut out this February card. I'm always looking for opportunities to cut things out of cards. Typically, I'm cutting out words, but in this situation, I'm gonna cut out the letters. And I'm doing that for a couple of reasons. One, I wanted to put the title, February, on a 4x6, and this was a 3x4 card. Now, I definitely could have used the 3x4 card on a 4x6 pocket and just centered it on a 4x6 card or added it next to a 3x4 photo. And there are many ways to do that without cutting it up, but I wanted to cut it up so I could put it straight across. I also don't love that the word was broken up into 3 layers. I know that's a design element used often, and sometimes I like it, but most of the time I prefer a word to fit all on one line. So I'm cutting it out so that I can do that. The card, though, had the middle row, the letters were larger, so the RU was larger, which looked great when it was stacked on a 3x4 card, but when I'm putting it straight, it looked a little off. So what I did was I just switched the 2 R's in the alphabet, or in the word, so that the large letters were not touching each other. So it looked more fun rather than having the large RU in the middle. I have the R at the Y, or at the end of the word next to the Y, which I just glued down, and the U in the middle. So I'm just adhering them with rolling adhesive, and then I'm going to take it over to my sewing machine and stitch it down as well. The stitching is just for fun. It's totally unnecessary, but it is just more decorative, and I like the texture that it brings to the page. I added one of the labels there so that I can add the date on here, so I could add the year. And I'm just using my favorite alpha stamp to add the date on there, and I have that linked in my description box below. There you saw me take it over to my sewing machine, and I'm just pulling the thread through the back and taping down the edges so that it, rather than tying them off. Now I'm going to work on this card. So I have this smaller photo of my daughter and her friend. They had a pajama day at school, and I decided to mount it on this 4x6 card so I could add the quote in. And then I used this transparency that was from the stationery kit as a base. I really, really love this transparency this month. I think it was my favorite piece of this collection. And I cut it up so I could use it in multiple projects, which is a great way to get more out of the one product. I added a few embellishments on there, and then I'm just kind of like looking at everything, trying to decide how I want to lay it out. And I glued that photo down, but then I think I'm going to work on this journaling card. So what my plan is for this journaling card is just to add a bullet point list of various stories from the month. So what this album is, or what these pages really are a recap of the month for my daughter's album. So I've already documented these months in my personal Project Life album, which is more my album. Although it does contain stories of other people in my family, it is primarily my album. So I would have like nods to things with my daughter, and some of the photos from my daughter show up in that album, but not every single one does. So this gives me an opportunity to repeat some of those stories, but with more of a focus on her in her album. So what I'm doing off screen is I actually have my Project Life album from 2020 open, so I can flip through and see what actually happened during the month of February in 2020, because now that it's 2024, I don't really remember that well beyond what I can see in the photos. So I do have more details that I can add onto this bullet point list. I decided I wanted to add a title on here that just says this month, and what I decided to do was use the 2 different alphas. One is from the Hobonichi Cousin, or the Cousin sticker kit, and the other one are these puffy black ones that come in the Modern Memory Keeper kit. I really, really love these black alphas. I'm so thrilled that there were black ones in this kit. When I initially saw the collection, I would have guessed that they would have done red or pink, but the black is such a bold pop next to all the pinks in the kit. It just works perfectly. Plus, it is a great versatile font to use in any project, not just with this collection. So I'm sure I will use that on other projects, and it will go in my stash and get used even when I'm not working with the Wonderland collection.
Next, I'm just writing on one of the stickers here that is from the stationery kit and adding it onto that photo. And I'm just adding a little staple here, but pretty much deciding that this is done. Doing just one 12 by 12 pocket page as opposed to a full spread comes together really quickly, and I really, really love it as a monthly recap. I highly suggest this if you are someone who wants to go back and document for your child to keep an album for them, that this is a great way to document their daily stories in an album without making it too overwhelming. And working with the monthly kits gives me a framework to have this completed by the end of the year. I will have 2020 fully documented in my daughter's album, and maybe next year I'll move on to 2021. I just had to trim that down a little bit, and I'm just going ahead and slipping everything into the pockets and calling this one done. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And as always, I hope to see you guys all in the next one. Thank you so, so much for being here. Bye.